Good afternoon. This is Aaron Lamb. Today is February 8th, 2012. And today we're going to cover how to adapt a external MIDI controller to Itch 2.1 using a third-party software called by Bohm's called MIDI Translator Pro. And this isn't a new idea. I didn't come up with this. Somebody else did. Phil over at DJ Tech Tools wrote an article in June of 2010. I'm doing a follow-up and kind of a little different approach than he did. But for the most part, today we're going to focus in on getting the SP6 part of Itch configured to an external MIDI controller. Haven't got all the bugs worked out considering the MIDI controller I'm using in the software, but I've got a couple cool workarounds that's working. I'm going to try to get another 4x4 pad or something. But today, again, we're using Itch 2.1. My Itch controller is a Newmark NS6 using Bohm's MIDI Translator Pro. And my MIDI controller I'm going to be using today is a EMU Xboard 25. So, anyways, back to Phil's article over on DJ Tech Tools. Go check it out. It'll give you an idea where I'm going with this video. And his instructional video, he did a really good instructional video on it, but he was using MIDI Stroke, which is only a Mac-only application. And I'm revisiting his thoughts with a different approach. Like I said, I'm using MIDI Translator Pro. I like it because I think I can do a little bit more with it than MIDI Stroke. It's not free, unlike MIDI Stroke, but it also works on Windows or Mac. So I own both Windows and Mac systems, and I find that having cross-compatible software is a very good thing to have. So, anyways, Phil did go into using MIDI Translator Pro a little bit in his article back in June 2010, but he didn't really go into any explicit detail on configurations or that. But we'll go into some of that today, showing how you can use MIDI Translator Pro to get some of the stuff working on your SP6 inside of Itch 2.1. So again, Bohm's MIDI Translator Pro. You can go to bohm.com, BOME.com. And we'll get to some of the other things I've got up here today. Okay, now we're looking at Itch. You can notice I've got some free loops loaded up from DJ Puzzle's website at plploops.com. And we're going to slide in MIDI Translator Pro here. We're going to create a new preset. I'm going to call this NS6_SP6. And now we're going to make a new incoming trigger for this. And I'm not going to name it there. We're going to call this play_samplebank1. Incoming. Again, I'm using the EMU Xboard 25, so I've got velocity sensitive keys on here. And it's proving to be a little problematic depending on what I'm going to do, but it's the only MIDI controller I have at the moment here in my studio in Florida. I've got a couple other controllers up in Indiana, but I'm going to leave them up there and just add on to my studio here. So I'm going to capture the first key on my Xboard here. There we go. It should be 9030 pp. Okay, now that we've got our MIDI value captured at 930 pp, we'll go over here to the rules. The rules, I'm going to show you when it comes to this velocity key here, since we have to assign a velocity variable of pp, then I have to add a rule here. If pp equals 0, exit rule, skip outgoing action. And I'll explain this because if I depress the key on the keyboard, it's going to send a MIDI signal back. So what I'm saying, hey, is if pp equals 0, hey, don't send another action when I depress it, because I don't want two actions. That being said, there's a quirk what's inside of Itch in doing this the way I'm doing it. that you may want to delete that rule, and I'll get to that here shortly. Now our outgoing action, we're going to map to a keystroke, which all the sample banks are have assigned keyboard shortcuts. Which I'll also note something here. If you notice, I've got the help menus up. Use shortcut keys Z, X, C, V, B, and N to trigger slots 1 through 6. Now the problem is, I've tested this on both of my Windows 7's boxes. If I hit Z, nothing happens. If I do Shift Z, it'll play. So that being known, you may have to use a Shift plus hotkey to enable those. So now that we know that, we're going to go over here. We're going to get a keystroke emulation, where it defaults to key press or sequence. Well, that's good. That's what we're going to want to do. We're going to do this on sample bank 1, so it's going to be Shift Z. And now we're going to go apply close. Now when I go back over here, I should be able to press the first key on my keyboard. And that's going to key our first sample bank. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a issue that I'm coming up using MIDI Translator Pro with Itch right now, and I think this is just because of the MIDI device I'm using to trigger this with. Over here in play mode, it'll play just fine. I can hit this and go play. And it'll play just fine. And remember that rule I've got set up there, because I don't want it to play when I let off of it. The problem comes over when I hit to sample player hold mode. When I hold down the key, and it should stop when I release it and revert back to the cue point. I'm having a hard time getting the translator to work properly with Itch and that. So what I'm going to show you here is how to use the start-stop mode to act as the player hold mode. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go over here, and this is all you got to do is delete the rule. You could totally assign another set of keys for this action, or you could actually add another rule set, which I'm going to show you another cool trick here in a minute. So I've deleted that rule off of there, so it'll send a MIDI signal when the key is pressed, and then when I let off the key. And that should stop it, the start-stop mode, but it'll react like the player hold mode. So I'll show you here. I'll hold down the key, and then when I let go, it stops and reverts back to the assigned cue point. That's the workaround I have for that right now. So what we'll do here is I'll show you how to easily duplicate one of these. We'll duplicate this. We'll change the name to SP2. We'll go back over here. We'll go capture MIDI. We'll 9032 PP. Outgoing rule. We're going to clear this. And we're going to go Shift X. Apply. Close. Now we should have keys 1 and 2 on the keyboard, triggering sample decks 1 and 2 on the SP6. There we go. Exact function of what we were looking to do today. This is not totally perfect right now, but as soon as I find something, a workaround on that, I'll get to it and post an update. Okay, now that I've got this set up, you can see I've got all my sample banks triggers configured. That's for my keys 1 through 6, and then I've got all the shortcut keys set up. All works fine, other than the issue I've noted on this. This morning, Pappy C over on the Itch forums, he was saying, "Hey, is there any way to control, the sample mode? There's no shortcut keys. There's nothing for that." And I said, "You know what? There is. Let me update this video. I'm trying to get this article pushed out." So this one is for Pappy C, and this is also, if there's something in Itch or any other software that you're trying to do something like this that doesn't have a shortcut key, you can't map to. Here's one of the cool functions that I like about MIDI Translator Pro. We're going to add a new incoming trigger here. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to call this move trigger mode SP1. Incoming signal. I'm going to capture my incoming signal. There we go. I've assigned that to one of my black keys. We're going to add that PP rule again. So if PP equals 0, exit rule, skip outgoing action. Now the outgoing, this is where it's going to get a little fun. You're going to have to go download some software. We're going to go over here to the mouse section. And then we're going to go to absolute position. Now, what I'm going to show you here, if you're a Windows user, there's a free little piece of software. I'll drag it over here and let you look at it. It's called Pixie. It's located at nattyware.com/pixie.php. It's free. It's totally clean. A lot of graphic designers will use it because it'll allow you to hover over an image or anything on your screen, and it'll give you the hex codes or RGB codes or CMY codes of whatever you're looking at. But it also gives you, if you notice the very top line over here in Pixie, it'll give you your pixel coordinates. So if you're a Windows user, that's where you want to go. I haven't downloaded this on the Mac yet, but in the iTunes store, the App Store, there's a app called Matchpoint. It costs $3.99, but it will also give you your XY coordinates. I didn't research it. Somebody knows a free Mac program out there, respond back. Let your fellow Mac users know about it. If I find something, I'll definitely let you guys know about it as well. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go back over here. We have to get the XY coordinates or a trigger mode over here. So let's say, hey, we want the sample player trigger mode. We got to get the XY coordinates. And we're going to say, hey, that's 20. We'll call it 2597. So that's the coordinates that we're going to have to put in here into our absolute pixels. 20 by 597. Now we're going to go apply and close. And we'll go back over here. And I'll put this mouse right here. And I'll hit the key and you'll watch it move over to the trigger mode. Boom, right there. Now here's the second step to this. We've got our mouse moving where we want it. We're going to have to add a second function. So we're going to duplicate this. And then I'm just going to rename it. I'm going to call it play TMSB1. And that's going to be on the same MIDI signal. We're going to leave our rule there. We're going to change our outgoing action. We're just going to change that to button clicks, and we're going to say, hey, left. So we're going to go apply, close. Now, if you notice, we've got two incoming triggers here. One incoming trigger is that when we press the key, hey, it's going to move the mouse to the specified XY coordinates. The second trigger, at the same time, it's going to do a left mouse button click. So go back over here. You notice I have this in start-stop mode. We'll put the mouse back over here. I'll press the key. It should move the mouse over and change the mode. There we go. We have changed the mode. So we'll go back over here and we'll reiterate this again. We're going to go duplicate. And since it's not working right, I'm going to bypass the hold mode and I'm just going to go over to start stop mode. So we're going to duplicate that. That's this one. So we're going to rename this to SSM Our incoming signal is going to be, I'm going to assign this to another key, 9030 pp. We're going to keep our rule, our outgoing action. Here we go. We're going to have to look at our pixie again. So that is going to be 68,597. We're just going to change this to 68. Apply close. And then if you noticed, that's at 33. We're going to duplicate our play. We're going to rename this to SSM. And then we're just going to update this. A simple, quick way so you don't have to go through all these steps over and over again. Make it simpler, not harder. Apply, close. So now I'm back over here. We're already in trigger mode. I should be able to press the button. And now we're into sample player start stop mode. Back to trigger mode. Back to start stop mode. And so forth. So that pretty much wraps it up. That shows you how to assign keyboard shortcuts to a MIDI signal inside of Bohm's MIDI Translator Pro. That also shows you how you can use the mouse XY coordinates and features in it to change certain things inside of Itch that don't have keyboard shortcuts or are not mapped to your controller. So right now I'm going to conclude this one, but I'll leave you with another note on this. When you're dealing with the XY coordinates, you must keep your layout the same. Because if you notice I've got this on stack mode, if I change this, this is going to change the position of my XY coordinates for my buttons here. So if you're using mouse XY coordinates, you have to keep your display the same. If you change your monitors, you're going to have to, if you change your monitor resolution or your monitor, you're going to have to account for your pixel XY coordinates changes. Something to keep in mind when you're using this feature. Stay tuned. I've got more stuff coming up soon. I'm going to just uncork Itch with MIDI Translator Pro as much as possible. Hope you enjoyed today's little tutorial. Again, I'm Aaron Lamb, and have a great day.